The galaxy held its breath as the decree was passed. The Galactic Council had declared that humanity was too dangerous to be free. Orders spread like fire. Earth's fleets would be dismantled, its colonies disarmed, its people forced into submission. Alien warships filled the skies above Earth, their shadows stretching across oceans and cities. The Council believed the message was clear. Humanity was broken. Alien commanders laughed as human warships were stripped of weapons. Colonies watched in silence as banners of other empires replaced their own. To the aliens, this was victory. To humanity, it was humiliation. The Council thought the chains were tight, thought the spirit of Earth was crushed forever. But behind closed doors, deep within hidden bunkers, the truth burned brighter than ever. Generals spoke in whispers, engineers worked in silence, and soldiers trained in shadows. Humanity did not scream, did not beg, did not break. They waited. In the council chamber, cheers rang out as alien leaders celebrated their triumph. Yet far below, a human officer stood in the dark, eyes fixed on the stars. His voice was low, steady, and filled with certainty. "Now," he said, "they've made their mistake." The silence suddenly felt dangerous. The alien fleets pulled back from Earth, convinced the job was done. Across the galaxy, broadcasts showed human ships dismantled and soldiers standing down. In the great council chamber, delegates laughed and raised their voices in pride. "Humanity has been broken," one boasted, his words echoed by cheers. To them it was over, but in the shadows, strange signals pulsed through space. Hidden channels carried encrypted transmissions, spreading from one colony to another. Alien interceptors dismissed them as static, not knowing they were messages of unity. Colonies thought abandoned were alive, their people hardened by silence, their fleets hidden under ice and rock. Soldiers drilled in secret caverns, weapons forged far from alien eyes. Humanity had not been destroyed, it had only gone quiet. Suspense thickened as the truth crept closer. On the edge of alien territory, a patrol ship detected something massive. Its sensors lit with warnings as a dark shape emerged from the void. The crew stared in shock. It was a human warship, larger than any recorded, its black hull glowing faintly with power. The captain tried to call the council, but his voice broke with fear. This isn't rebellion. This is something else." The feed cut as the giant ship's weapons came online. Alien news channels spread reports of minor human resistance, mocking the scattered attacks as desperate. Yet deep inside their fleets, unease was growing. Skirmishes erupted across the frontier, human ships darting from asteroid fields, striking fast, then vanishing into the dark. Alien admirals called it cowardice, but the patterns told a different story. Each battle was too precise. Alien cruisers were hit in their weakest spots, patrols cut off with surgical timing, supply lines destroyed in silence. These were not random strikes, they were lessons. Humanity was testing weapons, training pilots, and learning every weakness of their enemy. Inside hidden stations near Saturn's rings, commanders watched the data flow. Young pilots studied recordings of each fight, adjusting tactics with chilling speed. What the Council saw as weakness was, in truth, practice. The humans were sharpening their blade against a living opponent. Panic began to stir in alien high command. Where was Earth's main fleet? Why had humanity's so-called broken chains not slowed their strikes? Then a satellite caught a glimpse of something vast, moving beyond Jupiter, too large to be raiders, too organized to be chance. The report reached the council chamber, and the room fell silent. On the screen appeared the words, "Unknown fleet detected," and it was heading straight for Earth. From orbit, alien commanders turned their cameras toward Earth, expecting fear. They wanted to see cities burning, civilians rioting, and soldiers begging for mercy. Instead, the images sent a chill through their fleets. Earth was calm. Streets moved with order, factories thundered day and night, and the skies above the planet glowed with construction lights. Humanity was not broken, it was building. Vast shipyards circled the moon, their frames stretching like rings of steel across the dark. Colossal hulls, half-finished but unmistakable, hung in orbit. Alien officers stared at the screens in disbelief. These were not transports or defense ships. They were warships, massive enough to rival dreadnoughts. Deeper scans revealed even more. Under Earth's oceans, hidden vaults opened, releasing machines that had slept for years. Submerged chambers hummed with blue energy, their power surging as engineers worked without pause. The name whispered through intercepted human comms made alien blood run cold. Project Revenant. In the council chamber, arrogance cracked into fear. "They were never disarmed," one delegate hissed. They were preparing, but before the debate could rise, another feed cut through the noise. From the Pacific Ocean, a shape began to rise, water crashing from its armored hull. It was a human warship, 3 times the size of the largest alien dreadnought. The feed went dark as its engines roared to life. The first strike came without warning. Alien fleets positioned near Mars suddenly erupted in fire as human warships emerged from hidden positions. What the aliens thought were scattered raiders revealed themselves as a coordinated force, moving with terrifying precision. Cannons thundered, missiles cut through the void, and alien squadrons were shredded in seconds. At first, alien commanders laughed, calling it luck. But then strike after strike followed, each more devastating than the last. Human ships worked like parts of a single machine, every maneuver flawless, every hit exact. It wasn't chaos. It wasn't rebellion. It was war, planned, perfected, and unleashed at the Council's most trusted fleets. And then the shadow fell. From beyond Neptune, the first Leviathan-class warship ignited its engines. The sheer size of it made alien dreadnoughts look like children's toys. Its main cannon began to charge, a glowing storm building along its hull. Alien crews screamed as their scanners warned of impossible power. With a single blast, the Leviathan's weapon fired. Entire formations of alien cruisers vanished, torn apart in blinding light. Silence followed, broken only by the gasps of terrified commanders. Humanity had delivered its first blow, and the galaxy now understood. Earth had not been broken. Earth had been waiting. The Leviathan turned slowly, its guns locking onto the next target. Word of the Leviathan's strike raced across the galaxy like fire in dry grass. Entire star systems trembled as reports poured in. Alien armadas shattered, commanders fleeing, fleets reduced to wreckage in minutes. In the Galactic Council chamber, the laughter that once filled the air was gone. Now only fear remained. Delegates stared at the screens, their faces pale, their voices hushed. They watched humanity's fleets emerge in full, thousands of warships rising from moons, asteroids, and hidden shipyards. Every formation moved with flawless discipline, every soldier calm and steady, as if they had been preparing for this moment for centuries. One counselor slammed his claw against the table. "This cannot be. They were disarmed." Another shook his head, voice trembling. "No, they only hid their strength. We never saw the truth." The chamber doors opened and human envoys entered. They wore no armor, carried no weapons, yet the silence that followed their steps was heavier than any cannon. Their eyes swept across the trembling delegates with quiet certainty. The lead envoy spoke softly, his words cutting sharper than any blade. "You tried to break us. Instead, you awakened us." Before the chamber could respond, alarms wailed. The great screens flickered, showing Leviathans advancing, heading directly into Council space. The stars above the Council's borders lit up with fire. Every empire that once mocked humanity had gathered its fleets, tens of thousands of ships packed into formation, weapons charged, commanders desperate. They told themselves that sheer numbers would overwhelm Earth. But when the human armada arrived, hope drained from alien eyes. The first wave of human ships emerged in perfect order, sleek destroyers, black cruisers, carriers bristling with drones. Behind them, the Leviathans advanced, colossal warships so vast they made even the largest alien dreadnoughts look small. Their engines glowed like suns, their shadows swallowing starlight. Aliens fired first. Plasma storms, missiles and beams filled the void, shaking the darkness with endless explosions. For a heartbeat, it seemed humanity might be drowned in the storm. But when the fire cleared, the Leviathan still moved, shields shimmering like oceans of steel. Not a single line broke, then humanity struck back. Rail cannons tore through entire squadrons, drones swarmed like blades of light, and precision barrages cut fleets apart. Every move was clean, controlled, an execution, not a battle. Alien commanders shouted in panic as their formations collapsed, their proud fleets reduced to wreckage. Inside the council chamber, silence gripped every throat. A single transmission came from the human flagship, the envoy's voice calm and merciless. "Now we end this."